the idea for this book. And in all honesty, it came out in fragments. First, I knew it had to deal with a woman who was grieving. A woman in her 40s and her 50s, somewhere in there, who was burdened with a sense of loss. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know why. I didn't know where. So I started talking to this empty space. Who are you? What's on your mind? What's on your heart? Where? And I was led to, I know this sounds silly, but it was in West Texas. There's a big plain. And in this plain, as I was driving through, en route to Brownwood at the time, and this long empty space, there was a shack of a house, gray, warped, lived in, sad, empty. The empty eyes of that window's looking at me. And behind it was a mound, a big crumbling edifice. And I swear I saw where the rocks had cleared and there were steps leading up. And I thought, that is an Indian mound. And then in my mind, I saw this woman searching for her past, somehow connected to the mystery behind this mound. And then I thought, well, who is she and what not and the other? And then suddenly I found a picture. It was of the Texas Hill Country. And I forgot this West Texas site and fell in love with the Texas Hill Country. And my sister took me to Willow City Loop. And something about that place, the flowers, the crags, those old little creeks that wound everywhere, those winding roads, those beat down old farm signs and fences, and then those big craggy cliffs. And I felt at home there. For some reason, never having been there, I felt at home there. And I thought, this is where my character needs to be. This is where she goes to deal with whatever struggles are in her heart. So I knew she was suffering about something. But if she lives here, what does she live in? What house is she in? Where? And I found a picture by this marvelous artist that is now on the cover of the book, of this wonderful Texas house. And I've seen houses like this in old Texas neighborhoods, the neighborhoods of old Texas. This wraparound porch, this family feel. Then I went to the Pioneer Museum in Fredericksburg. Have you ever been there? And I saw this homestead made out of this slab cement stuff. I forgot the name of it, my mind went blank, but this glorious, it looked to me like cement, pasted over timber. Wild, crazy, rambling rooms, a big cellar. This room that you went up the steps and got in this room and you went down another step. You turn a corner and there's a little space there. And then there's another, and then there's a stairs that go. I thought, this is where she needs to be. So I put the two together. I put this rambling old 1800s house and attached to it the 1900s Texas country home, the two combined. And within this house are answers to her quest. Within this land, the land and how it speaks to her. You know, land speaks to us. The memories it holds. She hears the music of the Comanche that used to live there. She senses the voices of her ancestors coming through the earth. And she finds an old diary that hints to her past. So somehow, my character goes to this home, and she's alone, and she's lost everything. She's lost her husband to death. She's lost a father she never knew. She's lost a mother who was torn emotionally, has disappeared to marry a husband number who knows, that's 6 or 7, roaming around the country. She's lost her career. She's lost more than that. I don't want to let go of what it is because it's in the book. So she suffers loss and she's floundering, and all of us have been there. All of us have been there when we don't know where to go, what to turn, how to find ourselves again, what to hold on to, the emptiness that can prevail. And I didn't realize it when I wrote this book, but every character in it deals with grief and loss in a different way and comes out of it or into it and is affected by it in a different way. And I didn't know until the whole thing was written and it was published, and I thought, my gosh, look at that. So it's amazing what the secret parts of yourself can end up somehow revealed in a book, unaware to you. Someone else asked me also about the characters, and what I did is I ended up talking to them. It's called Gestalt. I'll take Kathy, for example, and I put her in a chair. It's a green velvet chair in my office. And I'd fuss at her, and I'd talk to her, and I'd see her sitting there, plain as day, as if she lived next door. I said, what the heck is bothering you? Or whatever. What is really troubling you right now? What do you want? What do you fear? What do you need? And I'd banter back and forth. And then we'd change places. I'd become Kathy. And I'd talk to that person there who couldn't understand me in the least. And we'd banter to that author person sitting in the chair by the computer. And we'd converse that way. This is most fun with Taddie. Taddie is a woman who is aged somewhere, maybe 60s, maybe 70s, maybe 80s. I loved that woman. Oh, whatever. She'd sit there and she'd fuss at me. She wouldn't think a thing about cursing me out, prodding me on, telling me what for. But anyway, so that's some of the ways that I dealt with characterization. I love this story for some because it is such a part of me. It came, to be honest with you, from a hidden part of myself I didn't even know was there. So it's like when I read this, I'm amazed at that part of myself that it reveals to me, Linda, that this probably happens to every author, right? Because every artist when they paint, a dancer when she dances, a musician when they play, you can't separate who you are from what you do. If it means anything, don't you think? If it touches an audience, it's got to come from within you, does it not? The truth. You can't fake. You've got to really be. And so I didn't. I put my heart in those pictures. It's me. All right. I will read a little bit because my dear friend